Hey guys, Boy here, and today we're gonna talk about Teams Tiny. This player has a 75% win rate with Tiny in 17 games, and he is 100% a player you should be watching if you want to get better at playing this hero. I watched all 17 games and selected his best performances to teach you how to get the fastest blink dagger in your games. First, let's talk about the item build he follows pretty much every game. He maxes Avalanche first, but starts with level 1 toss, only learns his ult at level 9, and always gets the move speed talent at 10, followed by the Avalanche talent at 15. His items are always Tango and Boots at level 1, followed by Stick, Tranquil Boots, into Blink Dagger. With that out of the way, let's watch how he plays the lane, but in case you want an easy guide on how to build and play Tiny, as well as great lane partners, good matchups, I'm giving away the SUP4 Tiny PDF from my Patreon for free. In case you want access to the whole S tier hero list and their respective PDF files, check my Patreon link in the description. The reason for teams to learn Toss at level 1 rather than Avalanche is quite simple. The mana cost is 30% lower and it deals more damage. Avalanche deals 75 spread damage, whereas Toss deals 120 damage to the tossed unit and 90 to the ones in the area, so it's a no-brainer. The cooldown is also much lower, allowing teams to enable his Batrider to get early first blood in this game. In every single game, Teams fares Mangoes as the laning stage starts. They serve as a boost of mana for Haraz and give much needed HP regen for trades since Tiny has 0 armor very early. Because he's fast with boots and because Tiny benefits a lot having the enemy carry close to his tower, he frequently blocks the enemy small camp. Without the enemy being able to control the lane, it's easy for him to put them in a bad spot. We will talk more about this in a second, but let's watch how he plays his level 1. Against a hero like Bane, he cannot trade well, and the best course of action is to hit him and toss him before he has time to use Brain Sap. In this case, he learned Nightmare level 1, but still, Bane has really good stats, and the best course of action in a lane like this is to toss Bane into the enemy carry, but with Toss having a worse cast range at level 1, oftentimes you cannot. But in this other game, we can see it happening. He tosses Oracle into Spectre while he gets a creep, so that's a lot of value from 90 mana. Another thing Tiny does really well with Boots is using his move speed to harass without drawing aggro by showing from fog. When you do moves like this, even if creeps are in aggro range, they will not aggro to you in the first 2 seconds, and that's how you can output damage besides your spells without taking too much damage, which is quite easy to take since this hero has only 0 armor. Let me show this again in case you didn't understand. When you're in lane showing and you hit a hero, the creeps are gonna aggro to you, but if you're fast enough and you come from fog, those creeps are gonna ignore you in your first or second attack. Another good move this hero has, especially when he's not showing for a while, is to wrap around with a toss. Since Batrider drew aggro, Oracle is way out of position and he takes a fair amount of damage. Once you have Avalanche, it's much easier to pull off this move, and this, more often than not, is the easiest way to get kills in the laning stage. One thing a lot of Tiny players forget about though, especially if they played a lot of core Tiny, is that you don't necessarily need to do the normal Avalanche combo all the time. If you're not aware, Avalanche deals 3 times more damage to units that are tossed. But when you do that, instead of having a 2.8 second stun combo, you're using both stuns at the same time. You're doing more damage at the expense of less control. Watch this kill on Rubik. He's being hit by a full creep wave and a Venge illusion. Since his Avalanche is only level 1, the damage amp from Toss is not going to compensate all of the right click time from these units. This is very often the way Tiny support combos, because you're not going to have enough levels to burst people down from 100 to 0 like a core Tiny does, and since you're ganking or fighting with more people, you would much rather have the long duration combo instead of more damage. Another thing Tiny is really good at is diving. Teams set this play up beautifully by tossing Bane into the incoming creeps that aggro to him. Those creeps die to the camp, and with their wave plus glyph, they go behind tower to kill Troll. Watch how the combo is done, the exact same way. Troll ends up living because of this Nightmare, but the combination of Stick and Mangoes gives them the Bane kill. Another thing worth mentioning is how Tiny benefits from heroes that have slows like Venomancer, Beastmaster, and Batrider. Anyone that can slow down a target that gets tossed in a faraway creep wave will rarely live unless the support has an escape, and very few supports have that. I think Puck 5 is probably one of the few exceptions. This is why Tiny is amazing in lane. With only 90 mana on a low cooldown, he effectively deals way more damage than the damage that is written in the skill. It's kind of similar to how a Fisher block works. One thing I want to emphasize is the amount of clarities Tims buys every game. If you want to get an early Blink Dagger, you have to invest in them because they allow you to have mana for all of the skirmishes you will and want to participate, and your Tranquil Boots will give you the move speed to get close and the HP to actually live through the fight. On average, he buys about 3 mangoes and 6 clarities in the first 13 minutes of his games. The clarity he uses after the kill bottom is what allows him to kill Wind Ranger mid when he rotates, and as soon as he gets that kill, another clarity gets fared, and as he moves top, he already buys another clarity that will fill him after killing Rubik. Right now you're probably thinking, why waste so many clarities if you can just buy a Soul Ring and have it the whole game? Shakers do that all the time. And you're right, but Shaker is a completely different hero than Tiny, even though they both want to rush Blink Dagger. First of all, Shaker has way less kill potential than Tiny, at least when we're talking about raw damage. Tiny right now deals 650 damage at level 5 with one Avalanche Toss combo, while a Shaker at 5 can Fisher. And in the off chance he can walk up to the target to use one Enchant Totem, that's about 300 damage if you're being generous. And that's kind of the main difference between Shaker and Tiny. Tiny wants Blink Dagger, but he really doesn't need it. He just needs any partner with him, and with enough move speed, he can burst people down. So I mean, sure, you can get your Soul Ring, but that means you're not being active because all of the Soul Ring components until it gets done gives you absolutely no mana. So you're wasting the power spike of a hero when everyone is really low HP, farming when you could be wreaking havoc. In this other game, we can see the same move. He fares a ward in clarities, wards as he regens mana, and he can get a Rubik kill mid. Once that happens, he goes bot with his mid player, and they get 2 kills on the Terrorblade and the support. With Tranquils and a Clarity, he moves mid and that's another kill. That's pretty much it. Tiny has the highest DPS of any hero at this level at the moment, and provided you have mana and move speed, almost no hero in the game is safe from you. In literally every game Tims gets a fast Blink Dagger, he has less than 8 CS, because all you really need is to rotate to heroes that can contribute to your already ridiculous damage and kill people. Now let's talk about the way Tims combos once he has Tranquil Boots. In situations where you have a ton of damage, like an Ember with a Flame Guard turned on, Juggernaut with Blade Fury, you would much rather have a longer combo than a bursty one, especially against a hero like Legion that has no escape. Even though Legion lives here, this is 2 cores stuck in a lane, Sunder being used on an offlaner, and with the mid rotation, an even better target dies. When you're about to dive a tower though, and somebody is already low enough to die to your full combo, then there's no need to prolong the stun duration, because then you're also dealing less damage, there's a chance the target runs away. By being super aggressive with his movements and using clarities non-stop, Tims creates total chaos in the early game. Another thing Tims does really well is not show. This is pretty basic if you're used to playing roamers, but if you're not, just watch this. His Venge is pushing bottom, and rather than help push the tower 1% faster, or just be in the lane hitting creeps like a moron, he chills in the trees, knowing that Radiant probably wants to defend this tower, but since no hero is here already, whoever shows first will definitely die faster than Radiant can send more resources. Also watch how he waits for the perfect Avatos combo on the second swap, which gives him that 12-minute Blink Dagger. In a meta filled with agility heroes, Tiny is an even bigger threat since they usually rely on scapes to live, but Tiny has so much burst damage with 0 cast point abilities that they rarely can do anything against him. Troll dies before he can press ult, Terrorblade gets completely smashed against so much magic damage. This hero is a beast, and I think he's probably the easiest and best roamer to get MMR in all of 727C.
This guy plays so stupid, dude. Actually so stupid. That was a duel, by the way, but he doesn't want to press it. Now he's scared of pressing it.
Hey guys, do you feel like Arteezy playing Dota sometimes? Even pro players feel like that all the time, and the way they are able to win so many games, besides the fact that they're really good, is knowing when to pick every hero. Dota is an ever-changing game, and I'm here to help you with that. If you join my Meta Aficionado tier on Patreon, you will get a 20-minute video analysis of the patch weekly, as well as a 20-page PDF file that's gonna have the best heroes for every position. I'm also updating the list whether there's a patch going or whether the meta evolves naturally. This is a great way to get MMR because it will help you filtering the amount of heroes you have to pick. So not only are you gonna learn those heroes faster, but you're going to be playing the best heroes available right now.
Alright, thank you a lot for watching, commenting, and subscribing. If there's something in this video that you didn't like the way that I talked about, or maybe you feel like I missed a point, please make sure to leave it in the comments. If you want a more premium experience than my weekly meta guides that you can find on Patreon, DM me on Twitter to get the rates for my coaching. In case you just got back to Dota because of COVID-19 or the Compendium, make sure to drop by our Discord server. There's a lot of people from all over the world there, and in case you want to find someone to play Dota with you, I'm sure you're gonna find someone that's chill and that will make your Dota experience a little better. Finally, if you want to see me stream, make sure to follow me on Twitch. I have big plans for streaming, and I'm actually serious. I think in about a week or two, you guys are gonna know what I'm talking about. There is a whole guide with 9k more players about to drop, and I'm really excited about this. And in case the weekly meta guides is not something that you care about, just check our tier list on Patreon. I'm pretty sure you can find something that you know, is cool in case you just want to help the channel or something else. Have a good one, guys. Bye.